We call it people technology.
インテル入ってる。
Well, we're all set for a change in scenery then in IPL 2021. An interesting second leg awaits us as the teams shift from Chennai and Mumbai to Delhi. But first, Ahmedabad. Match number 21 is where our attention lies. It's between the Punjab Kings and the Kolkata Knight Riders. It's a big one, you think, for teams that want to keep up with the likes of Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi that have started this season better than they have. It's the first game at the Narendra Modi Stadium for this year's IPL, and this is, of course, Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Time Out, powered by Intel. Before I welcome Dale Steyn and Aakash Chopra, it is a timely reminder that these are tough times, and for all our viewers, especially those in India, do mask up in public, follow social distancing and self-sanitizing protocols, and if you are eligible, please do take your vaccine as soon as possible, right? Let's try and focus on the cricket and build up to Punjab against the Knight Riders. And a toss that's gone Owen Morgan's way. Aakash makes an appearance on our live show the first time, busy man that he is. And he starts with change in fortunes for Owen Morgan at the toss, at least. And he's decided he's going to have a bowl first in what's an unchanged 11 for Akash's former IPL side. But we're not able to figure out why they're not playing to potential, Aakash.
Well, of course, yes. Good to be back here to begin with not a bat in hand when Dale is with me or on the other side. It's always a relief. But when you talk about Kolkata, when you look at the side, you think that they have the makings of a good team, a good T20 team. They've got depth in their batting. They've got two mystery spinners. They've got Pat Cummins, Lockie Ferguson. They've got plethora of Indian fast bowlers, but their batting is letting them down. And I'm sure it must have already been said on this platform that Captain Morgan's batting, Captain Morgan's tactics thus far have left a lot of us befuddled. So the moment he starts scoring runs, he gets his tactics right. I think this team has the potential to bounce back. So I won't rule them out just yet.
Fair enough. Now I'll tell you something, Aakash. You mentioned that you're happy you're not with bat in hand in front of Dale. Dale still keeps a ball in hand when he's doing these shows with us. I don't know if he's got it today or it's close by.
Okay.
He still there he is. See, ball is never too far from Dale Steyn's reach.
I can't help it, guys. I can't help it. I promise you. Absolutely love bowling, and I've just got to carry this thing all around with me the whole time, eh? But it's not about me. Let's talk about the teams playing today.
Okay, well, let's talk about the Kolkata team. We've spoken. Aakash has got mic in hand. So all your favorite toys are
things that things that we can do well. That's it. He's got the ball. I've got the mic.
And I similarly would just keep either the TV remote or this phone, which only seems to get me into trouble these days, in hand. But right, let's focus on the Knight Riders. Aakash makes the point. We've discussed this, Dale, that it's quite interesting for a team that's bottom of the table. They don't make changes because you think from afar that this is still their best 11. Now, does that worry a franchise at times that their best 11's not getting the job done, or is it just matter of time? Let's keep doing it. It will come off.
I think for people that are not so cricket savvy or cricket smart, they might get worried. They want to see sudden changes when they see a couple losses. I mean, what have they lost? They've lost 4 in a row. So then you kind of want to be sitting there and going, no, you need to make changes. You need to make changes. But the management that are there, that are going to the training, they're seeing what's going on. They believe in an idea that they've got that should work, or strategy that they feel should work. So they haven't opted for any changes. I'm kind of for it. New ground, hopefully a change of luck for them. The guys just need to start scoring runs. That's at the end of the day, that's all that really needs to happen. Is we need to see their batters start scoring runs. Morgan needs to come to the party. He needs to score runs. They need to use Andre Russell a little bit smarter. Not the number that he bats, but when he goes into bat is important. But at the end of the day, they just need to start scoring runs. As Aakash said, they've got 2 mystery spinners. They've got Pat Cummins. They've got heaps of choices that they can go with. But these guys, the bowlers are there to do a job, but the batters need to start scoring runs.
Aakash brought up the point in his opening comments about Morgan's tactics or KKR's tactics. Now, it's one thing for what we've seen them doing with the bat. They're going to be chasing. But with ball, Aakash, how would you start today? Now, you've got the option of Narayan. We've seen Varun Chakravarti take wickets and be removed. We've seen Shiva Mavi start in a chase. There are so many things he can do. What should he do to keep, according to you?
There is, if there's ever one one leaf from his book of captaincy. Just take that out. It like it's written in capital letters. Just keep it simple. Read the conditions, respect the conditions, and then pick your horses to that suit that particular course. Because when you're at the Wankhede Stadium, it's pace. When you're at Chepauk, spin. That's how you actually build. So don't go with preset notions that this is how we are going to approach, because there is KL Rahul with Mayank Agarwal, then Chris Gayle to follow, first over, third over, second over, fourth over. That is for me by analysis. You play the moment. You see the pitch. If there is grass, you start with pace. If there is spin, then you introduce spinners, and then just use them judiciously. That's all. You don't have to be like you don't have to outsmart the opposition. That is not even there to be outsmarted. Just do the basics right. You'll be fine. They have got enough options. Last time we saw Prasidh Krishna bowling the 14, was lost. Why do you play Prasidh Krishna if he can't bowl in the first 14? We saw Varun Chakravarti at times, and there could have been one change, to be honest. But that change cannot happen the moment you have an overseas captain, to be honest, because today they may have been tempted to bring in Lockie Ferguson. When you're playing at Ahmedabad, when you look at the opposition, you see that there is a lot of batting firepower. But you can only play 4 overseas. You can't play more.
And now Punjab Kings, right? They've made a change as well. We're wondering whether they should bring in a specialist bowler. They've done exactly that. Chris Jordan makes his first appearance of this year's IPL. Out goes Fabian Allen. Dale, you'd be okay with that call, I'm guessing? We've been discussing Punjab still needing that outright pacer. And it looks like conditions have dictated that Fabian Allen's usage was for Chennai only.
Yeah, I think he had the one good game in Chennai, and then he didn't have such a good game the next one. That kind of happens. But horses for courses, Fabian Allen out, Chris Jordan in. They've obviously had a look at the wicket and they've said, this is the way. This is a simple change, and that's exactly what teams need to do. Just keep it simple. KKR have made life a little bit more difficult for themselves with going for strange tactics that when they come off, you say, that's brilliant, that's amazing captaincy. And we did that after the first game. I actually sat there and I was like, oh, this is amazing, this is brilliant. But simple, just to keep it simple. And that's what Kings 11 are doing tonight.
Punjab Kings, as we must get used to calling them, but that's their fault.
Punjab Kings.
They want. Yeah, that's fine. We'll call them Kings, just to keep it simple. But yes, Chris Jordan gets the nod ahead of either Jai Richardson or Riley Meredith. Aakash, who did start the tournament with them. Jordan, of course, played here for England against India. Do you think that's the right call?
I would have been tempted to just carry on with Jai Richardson. That's just my opinion, because when you pay somebody mega bucks, when you are picking someone who's an out-and-out fast bowler, Chris Jordan is, yes, a fast bowler, but you're also thinking, oh, give me like quality stuff in the field as a fielder, because he's a gun fielder. Jai Richardson would have been my pick personally, but then it's all right if you go with Chris Jordan. At least you're going in the right direction. Now, the choice of personnel is our captain, but then if they were to pick a spinner, for example, for a pitch that's green in at least in appearance, then you question it. Otherwise, it's fine.
I've heard this description of types of fast bowlers from a lot of IPL analysts and coaches, Dale, and there are those bowlers that you attack with the new ball, and there are those fast bowlers that sometimes are categorized as defensive bowlers, and you need those sorts of bowlers on high-scoring venues. I've heard Chris Jordan's name in there, that he's a good defensive bowler. Jai Richardson, someone you give the new ball to. What do you make of this sort of description? Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. I mean, I can only think of myself as an example. And I like to strike. I really wanted to strike. When I have the ball in the hand, I want to strike. I don't really want to stop the runs. I felt like the best way to stop the runs was by taking wickets. So, yeah, if they wanted to go with a more attacking bowler, Jai Richardson is your guy. He's had a couple games. He hasn't exactly set the world on fire just yet, but that's IPL. This is 2020 cricket. He's playing in India. I think it's his first IPL. There's a bit of pressure with the amount of money that he's going for. So he probably needed one or two more games to get going. But like Aakash said, they've gone in the right direction. They've picked another quick bowler. So whether it was Jai or CJ, that's up to them to decide. They seeing how the guys are going, what the nets are like, what the mindset of the players are like, and everything like that. But Chris Jordan, definitely one of the more defensive bowlers. When I think Chris Jordan, I'm thinking back end of the innings, the last 2 overs where he's going Yorker, 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 and he's really getting it in the hole. I'm not really thinking he's running in and trying to hit the top off stump, bouncing you out, getting you out,
Yeah.
nicking you off, something like that. So he is a more defensive bowler, but maybe that's what they want tonight.
What can we expect, Akash,
Just to
from
add,
conditions?
maybe Chris
Please,
Jordan
please,
Chris
please.
Jordan is picked keeping in mind Andre Russell. That we want a bowler who can bowl to Andre Russell. He is actually that matchup that they've gone for.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. But what can we expect from conditions at this point in Ahmedabad? We saw in that 5-match ODI series against England that the nature of the pitches seemed to change with every game. There's the odd one where run scoring was harder. We saw England take on India with a lot of pace in the first couple of games. Eventually, we saw a high scoring series. What can we expect from Ahmedabad at this time of year?
See, I'm slightly concerned about the due because that's one thing that tilts the balance in the favor of the team batting second, quite radically in a T20 game. So I really hope that stays away. Of course, the series that you just mentioned happened in March. We are at the tail end of now April. So you expect maybe not such a huge radical change in day and night temperature and therefore less dew. If that's the case, it's all right. But I do feel when you look at the square, they've got red soil pitches, they've got brown or black soil pitches. It depends which pitch they've chosen for today's game or tonight's game rather. And but expect a little bit of bounce, a little bit of carry, and the first few games at any venue, you would find that there is a bit more for the bowlers. And as or rather the tournament progresses at that venue, bowlers come to the fore a little more, especially the slower bowlers. That happened at Wankhede, Chennai, of course, the same story. I don't expect anything different from Ahmedabad either.
All right. Now, this is the timing of this game is interesting. Punjab and Kolkata, because you've got two batsmen, both significant players for their teams, with a similar sort of luck running into this game. Owen Morgan and Nicholas Pooran both seem to have enjoyed the worst of the luck so far this year's tournament. Both have had what we call diamond ducks, run out without facing a ball. So let's discuss, how that could possibly change today. And we'll discuss it as part of our Upstocks Crick Index, which gives you a better understanding of the ups and downs in the cricketing world, just like the trading world. And as we do discuss these players, just keep an eye out on that Upstocks Crick Index scroll through your screen, where you'll get an idea of which players' ratings have gone up or down based on performance. Now, I'm sure we'll see Nicholas Pooran and Owen Morgan stocks dipping just slightly. But it's nice to see that Punjab has stuck with Pooran. He's that kind of player, Aakash, who's going to take off. But there seems to be a different role for him here, to try and play bat lower and go hard. What do you expect him out of Pooran? It's just a matter of one innings before he turns it around?
Yes, he's got pedigree. He's got class. When you look around the overseas batsmen, and if you were to just pick top five, who you'd think that are going to set the world on fire, not just now, but for the next 5 years, Nicholas Pooran will feature right up there with the best in the world going around. So once you've got that kind of a player, and you're not even batting him in the top three, sometimes you push him at five. So if the roles are changing, don't complain too much. See, and he's not been in for long enough for us to know whether he's out of form. So you still have to scratch around to understand that he's not hitting the ball well. He's not picking the ball well. If you're getting dismissed for a first ball, second ball, third ball, duck, sometimes not even facing the ball, then you are just waiting. That there is a lot of pedigree, and that's why you pay mega bucks for people like Pooran, Gale, Andre Russell. That they are those kind of stocks. We're talking about up stocks. Yeah, they're those kind of stocks that are blue chip.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Pooran, poor thing, you don't take into account the context, right? That he's been run out without facing a ball, or he's been caught, off a short one. His stocks are down 70%. Poor Nicholas Pooran. Now, I wonder, Dale, if this becomes the subject of dressing room banter at some point. 0-0, another 0 run ball, and he comes in. You saw a smile from Nicholas Pooran when he went like, "Oh, come on, man, can't be happening to be." Does the dressing room sort of lighten things up when these things happen?
Absolutely. I think the worst place to be is in a dressing room when you feel like you should have contributed, but you didn't. Somehow you were out there for 15, 20 balls and you only got like 3 or 4 runs. Then you're kind of looking for a little hole to hide in, or go into the bathroom and you sit there like very depressed. But in Pooran's case, he'll be walking into the dressing room and the guys will be having a bit of a giggle about it. They'll be like, my friend, don't you worry. Like a big one is around the corner for you because you've just been unlucky. And I think the same thing with Morgan. Last game I was excited to actually watch him to watch him bat, and then he got out without facing a ball. And I think if he had batted and he had scratched an innings there and didn't score any runs, then we could have drawn a conclusion that maybe he's a little bit out of form or whatever it is. But when you're getting diamond ducks It's pretty tough to call on form in that situation. But with somebody like Nicholas Puran, I mean, he's world class, and if he faces more than, I don't know, 15 balls tonight, he'll show that.
All right. Now, Nicholas Puran's been persisted with, which is nice to see from Punjab that are known to make a lot of changes, Aakash. But I was a bit surprised that they went with Deepak Hooda 4, Nicholas Puran with a finisher's role at 5. Now that Hooda's looking good, he's in good form, would you be tempted just to change that up a little? Give Puran a little more time. He's out of form. Let him find it in. Maybe take the in-form guy at 5 because Hooda's, hitting it well. Is that tempting you at all?
In a T20 game, I absolutely loathe the idea, honestly, to have preset notions, preset ideas walking into a game. Because this is a developing story, and it develops so fast that you have to be thinking on your feet. Okay, Chris Gayle is having a great night. Now we don't need Puran, we don't need anybody. Just get Hooda, Shah Rukh Khan, guys who are in, just throw them in. You lose 3 wickets in the first 5 overs, and then that's where you send Nicholas Puran and say, Hooda, Shah Rukh, you wait, because we've lost few wickets and now we have to rejig our ideas. So as much as all of us would want, and in fact they would also want Puran to get a decent run, but you cannot possibly do it at the sake of compromising is just playing out on its own. You just want to add to it, just embellish it and not really change it unless it requires repair. So Nicholas Puran's first game is that game where you decide that Puran is a 4 or 5. But that's when you went to Hooda because he must have been hitting beautifully in the nets and the warm-up games, etc. And once he comes off, now there is a different story. So you have to go with that narrative, even if that means that Nicholas Puran is not getting enough balls to bat.
Okay, so let me give you a hypothetical. Let's say you get 2 wickets falling early. Say within the first 8 or 9 overs, you've got 2 of Gayle, Agarwal, Rahul getting out early. Then you've got a call. There are 11 plus overs. You send Hooda in, or you send Nicholas Puran. Aakash, how would you go?
I'll go Puran. I'll go Puran because that's the kind of time that you need. If you're struggling for form, you need some time in the middle, and then you have to also just manage that run chase. If it is a run chase, if you're batting first, you have to set a target. So you need that kind of experience. What we've seen with Hooda and the likes of Shah Rukh Khan, there was a time when they were losing wickets, heaps, one after the other, and Hooda was still batting as if like a millionaire. You may be in top form, but your team has lost 3 for 20. Now you've got to be a pauper and just be very cautious that what you want to do. So that is where Nicholas Puran is a guy you would want to go with, who could then maneuver that innings and take it to a stage where either he explodes or at least sets up the platform for the likes of Hooda and Shah Rukh Khan to explode.
Yeah, this sort of decision-making, Dale, becomes so key from franchises, isn't it? We've seen Russell almost wait in dugouts, frustrated with his pads on, because one position higher might have been a few overs too early. But I'm trying to think of whether this is what separates the good teams from the rest, the ones that get these right. Kolkata have been on the wrong end of it at times this season.
Yeah, and sometimes you'd be sitting there, in the dugout, actually wishing for a wicket. You're kind of sitting there and you're going, we need to lose a wicket now so we can get this guy in, because we know what he's capable of. Not just because we didn't.
I was just going to say, Aakash has been
retire out, Dale, retire out.
Yeah. It's happened, and the bowling team is exactly the same. They're sitting there and they're thinking, we know who's coming, we know who's got to come. Like, the plan is don't get a wicket if you can't. Just and it sounds so silly, but if you can buy yourself 2 overs, that's 12 less balls than a Russell needs to face. But the management are there. They kind of have an idea of what they want to go about it, but they need to leave some room for flexibility and changes. I also don't like the idea of going into the game with a set idea of this guy's going to bowl this over, that one's going to bowl the 3rd over and the 5th over and X, Y, and Z. Because when it doesn't come off, you kind of can sometimes be caught unawares and not know what to do. But in KL's squad, good side. I mean, they've also got Moses there who can also bat. So if they lost a couple wickets early, they could also throw Moses up the order. Who we've seen what he's done for Sydney. He's actually come more on as a batter than of a bowler than what he was used for in the past. So they've got options too. But Puran, world-class player. He just needs some balls to get going tonight. That's all he needs.
All right. Well, you can see their stocks on their way down. Moses Enrique's stock is on its way up after a good effort with the ball in Chennai. But that was us looking at the Upstocks Crick Index scroll. And make sure you follow how these players go through the IPL on www.upstockscricindex.com. Right. It's time to go to my favorite part of the pre-show now. 3 quick questions related to Punjab or Kolkata as part of our Intel Fastest Fan First.
Oh, goodness.
Now, let me warn you, Dale Steyn, you've been up against Sanjay Manjrekar, against Ajit Agarkar. Aakash Chopra for me is the best quizzer amongst all of them, right? So I'm putting a little pressure on Aakash as well.
Why are you putting pressure on
rubbing my genie ball?
Pressure on Akash, right? Okay, question one.
Fans are going to play. Fans are going to play. We are not playing.
These are questions to you. These are only questions to you.
Oh,
right?
okay.
1 out of 3.
Right.
Simple ones. Who's the leading run getter for Punjab in the tournament so far? See, it's a nice underarm half volley I've given.
Rahul.
Yes, well done.
KL
See,
Rahul.
Akash is off to the flyer. Straight drive, middles it. So well done to Aakash. KL Rahul, leading run scorer still for Punjab, especially after that lovely 60 to make sure his team got over the line against Mumbai. Let's go to our second question. Dale Steyn's got ball in hand. Let's hope he strikes. Who hit the winning runs when Kolkata beat Punjab in the 2014 final? Right. Close your eyes and remember that game. I can actually remember
I'm taking
that.
a guess. I'm
Yeah,
taking
go
a
for it.
guess.
Manish Pandey.
Not Manish Pandey. So Dale's guess is
Manish-
still on. Dale?
Oh, no, I was going to... It wasn't Callis, was it?
No, it wasn't Gallis. It was
It's a
actually
left-handed
quite...
batter.
Yes, it was a left-handed batter because it was Piyush
What
Chawla.
is his name?
Lower down the order. Piyush Chawla. Piyush Chawla is the answer I'm looking
PC.
for.
Okay.
Yeah. In fact,
Okay.
hit a couple of key boundaries just to make sure that Punjab got over the line. So that was 2014, where we're looking at, for KKR, of course, Kolkata got over the line. So 1-0 to Aakash still. Let's go to our third question. At which venue did Kolkata score their highest ever league score against Punjab in 2018? Right, this was
Indore.
a game where that's an excellent answer from Aakash Chopra. Well done. Well done.
I would never have
Aakash.
guessed that.
Yeah, that's why he's that good, Aakash Chopra. Right. Okay, that's a wrap for our Intel Fast.
Narayan scored a quick fire 50, I remember.
Yeah, see, there you go.
He
Did
just
I
went
not? Did I
berserk.
put undue pressure now, or was I just being realistic,
Right.
Dale? Isn't this?
That was amazing. I promise you. I wouldn't have been able to Google it
Okay.
that fast.
No, beginner's
no
luck,
chance.
Beginner's luck. Beginner's luck, Dale.
Very well, very well. These are two teams that need a little bit of luck. Let's see how they go at our halftime show. Big thank you to Dale Steyn and Aakash Chopra. We'll join them for Maruti Suzuki presents ESPN Cricket for T20 Time Out, powered by Intel after the 20 overs of the Punjab innings. And of course, as we've told you, these are testing times. So all our viewers, especially in India, do mask up in public, follow social distancing and self-sanitizing protocols. And if you are eligible, do take your vaccine as soon as possible. Do stay safe and healthy, and we'll be back to discuss the cricket in 20 overs.
We call it people technology.
インテル入ってる